What's poppin' everybody, Jay here. Pokemon White with only gift Pokemon was a nice little first challenge, but I think it lacked in variety. Today I'll be playing Pokemon Silver without Pokemon I catch myself. The way I can use Pokemon is if they are given as gifts, received in trades, or purchased at the game corner. This may seem like a lot of Pokemon, but I wanted to see how varied of a team I can build with restrictions like these. This time I'm actually writing the script before I do the challenge, so I have no idea how many problems I'll encounter. Obviously, with the different Pokemon I can get, I'm sure I'll be able to beat Red without over-leveling too much, but it's all about what team I choose to use and how the game will go otherwise. I've never actually beat Red in my own playthroughs, so this in itself will be a challenge. A few ground rules. First, I can't use Pokemon I catch myself in a Pokeball. I will be catching other Pokemon to do trades later on, but I won't use them to fight anything. Second, no items in battle, but I might be using held items at some point. Third, I can have HM Pokemon, but will try to limit myself to Pokemon I can get in trades or as gifts. I also use the universal Pokemon randomizer to change the game to have easier evolutions, so that some of the trade Pokemon I receive in the game can actually evolve and reach their true potential. Comment down below what you think is going to give me the most trouble. Let's get started. I choose to start the game with Chikorita, as this will give me the hardest time with the first two gym leaders. With Chikorita being a grass type, he will be weak to Falkner, the flying type gym, and Bugsy, who is obviously the electric type gym leader. We name our Chikorita Leafy and continue on to our path. We pick up the mysterious egg from Professor Oak and Mr. Pokemon and run into our rival for our first rival battle. He's not really too tough, even though he has a Cyndaquil, the starter type that's super effective against us. I decided to use a Razor Leaf even though it's not super effective, but Pokemon get a 1.5 times attack boost using moves of their type. A few Razor Leaves take him out without taking too much damage. I named my rival Steve, because I've never met a Steve I actually liked. Lyra teaches us how to catch a Pokemon, and we continue on to the next city, Violet City, home to our first ever gym battle. On our way to the gym, I run into a Bellsprout, who I decide to catch in order to get our first trade Pokemon in Violet City, who happens to be an Onix named Rocky. We need to be careful with how I train him, because traded Pokemon can become disobedient if I train them too high compared to how many gym badges I have. In the Violet City Pokemon Center, there's a man standing next to the computer that will give you 3 gift eggs depending on what answers you give him. The more the merrier, I say, so I give him my answers and he supplies me with 3 different eggs, being Mareep, Slugma, and Wooper. After that, we do some side quest stuff in Bellsprout Tower, giving us another look at our rival and a battle with the Elder of the Tower. It wasn't too hard, as we only have 2 Pokemon at the moment, but now we can get to our fight with Falkner. It was at this point I realized that traded Pokemon won't obey you starting at level 10 if you don't have the first badge, not level 15. This made the first battle difficult as Rocky kept disobeying me and going for non-damaging type moves instead of Rock Throw. We can make it through the first Pidgey, but once we get to the Pidgeotto, Roost gives us a hard time and we can't make it through. Rocky gets taken down by multiple Gust after disobeying me multiple times, and Leafy goes down to 1 Gust. I need to grind Leafy to be able to take another hit. After gaining a few more levels on Leafy, I tried another method. I took down the Pidgey with a few tackles with Leafy, but once the Pidgeotto came out, I decided to use Poison Powder to slowly chip away at his health. Maybe this was a bit of a cheese method, but it worked for what I needed to do. I then kept using Tackle until Leafy went down, and after a few disobeys from Rocky, 1 Rock Throw was enough to take him out, winning us the Zephyr badge. Now traded Pokemon up to level 20 will obey us, so I need to be careful with my training so this doesn't happen again. After the gym, I get a call from Professor Elm telling me to keep an eye on the mystery egg from earlier. Because of this, we now have 4 Pokemon eggs that have not hatched yet, so it takes some time to walk around to hatch the eggs. Before we even get to the first cave, a Togepi hatches from Mr. Pokemon's egg. We name him Egg Boy. Leafy also evolved into Bayleaf, but I forgot to record that, so here are his stats. We went to the cave, and right as we exit, our Mareep and Wooper eggs both hatch, so I named them Bob and Moonpie respectively. After some more training, the final Slugma egg hatches, and I name her Turbo. We now have a full team of 6, though I don't think this will be our final team. We continue on to Slowpoke Cave in order to train a bit more. That way we don't walk around with any level 1 Pokemon. Turbo is going to be pretty good for this next gym with her fire type, as is Rocky for the rock type, so they are my number 1 priority. None of the Team Rocket members give us any trouble, as switch training Turbo usually leads to something that's weak against Rock-type Pokemon. We beat the Rocket admin and save the Slowpoke, giving us the ability to go after the Bug-type gym leader Bugsy. Bugsy as a gym leader normally wouldn't be a problem except for a Scyther, who knows stab moves like U-turn and Fury Cutter. However, I use a big brain move and start with Turbo using Yawn. She gets taken out fast, but when she goes down, Scyther falls asleep. With this, I can switch out to Rocky and take him out with 3 rock throws. When Metapod and Kakuna come out, I also use a few rock throws on them to take them out without much issue, giving us the Hive badge in record time. Level 30 Pokemon now listen to us, furthering our cap for leveling up our Pokemon as we run into any more trouble, though it seems unlikely at this point. Next up, I have a battle against Steve. I start out with Turbo as he throws out Ghastly. I start off with a Yawn again to put him to sleep, realizing how good of a move this usually is. A few rock throws take him out, refusing him the ability to wake up. Zubat isn't as easy to take out as he starts with Confuse Ray. However, Turbo manages to break through all of her opportunities to be hit in confusion and lands 3 rock throws to almost take it out. Unfortunately, the Zubat wakes up to deliver a critical bite and take us out. I think to go out to Bob to use a few tackles to take out the Zubat, but he isn't strong enough and gets taken out by a few bites. I send out Eggboy to finish off the Zubat with extra sensory. With the rival starter Quilava coming, I switch to Moonpie to gain experience, then switch to Rocky to send out a few rock throws, taking Quilava out without taking too much damage and landing 1 critical hit. Moonpie also earns a few levels for this fight. We continue the game going through Ilex Forest and coming out on Route 34, being sure to look in the grass for a Drowsy for a trade coming up. None of these battles are worth mentioning because all we need to do is grind up for a little bit. We can go to the Goldenrod department store and trade a Drowsy for a Machop. Because I choose to make the game easier evolutions, I can get a Machamp at level 40 as opposed to having to trade for it. This will make Muscle able to come to its full potential, something I've never had done before Gen 8 because nobody wanted to trade with me so I could get a Machamp. Well, who needs friends anyways, am I right? We can also go to the person in between the city and Route 35 and receive a gift Pokemon, a level 20 Spearow named Kenya. This team really keeps building up, and it will still continue to do so. The main reason I wanted to do this game was for this next part. In Goldenrod City, there is something called the Game Corner, a casino of sorts in which you can earn coins for minigames and buy items, and for certain prices, you can also buy Pokemon. I spent a few hours on a Friday doing that just so I could get all the Pokemon available to me, as well as a few TM moves for the future. The only problem is that I realized I'm actually terrible at Voltorb Flip, so I spent the next 2 hours getting frustrated and only earning 1,000 coins. I looked up a Voltorb Flip cheat device to be able to get to the rest of the challenge, picking up an Abra, Sandshrew, and a Dratini. That was frustrating, but now we can get to the real challenge and our first real roadblock, Whitney, which I forgot to record because I was so brain dead by the end of my gambling spree, but it was pretty much a sweep with Machop and Abra evolved into Kadabra. We get to Eucritique City and run into a battle with our rival. We start with our new Dratini and use a Dragon Rage to take it into the red. It stupidly goes for Curse, taking itself down, even though it was a 3-level difference. Next out is Zubat, who I choose to stay out for. I got taken out with a Wing Attack and switched into Kadabra to get a Confusion off and take it out in 1 hit. He sends out Quilava, so I stay in for a Confusion to take it down to half. 1 Flame Wheel gets me down to the orange, as another Confusion gets him to red, and the Flame Wheel takes me out. I send Kenya the Spearow and get taken down to the red with a Flame Wheel, burning me and leaving me with 3 HP. The burn takes me out as I take him out with an Aerial Ace. I switch to Muscle while he goes to Magnemite and he confuses me. He also chooses to Thunder Wave me to get the Para and Confusion, but 1 Karate Chop takes him down, winning the battle. Next is Morty, the Ghost-type gym leader. I didn't think it would be hard, but I also expected it to be easier than 4 one-hit knockouts with Psybeam. Like, that's ridiculous. I knew Kadabra was good, but I probably shouldn't have picked him up, honestly. I continue through Olivine City, choosing to skip the lighthouse for now so I can surf to Cianwood to face Chuck and his fighting types. First, I pick up Shucky the Shuckle for fun, because why wouldn't I want a Shuckle? I decide this gym is a good place to get some more levels on Kenya and Eggboy, switching off between them in battles. Kadabra is also super effective here, but because of how high level he already is, it seems unfair. During some of the battles, Kenya evolves into a Fearow. Unfortunately, I greatly underestimated the level of Chuck's 2 Pokemon, and his Primeape takes out Kenya and Eggboy in 2 Rock Slides. I then begrudgingly send out Kadabra and clean up shop with a few Psybeams. I'm gonna have to balance out my team a bit more once I get to red. I move north to try to fight Usain, but we're just too low a level and get swept by his Electrode at the end. Even Kadabra is useless in this fight. I decide to take a team of 6 and try to train them at the side of Cianwood, choosing Flaffy, Togepi, Dratini, Kadabra, Machop, and Fearow to try to make a competent team. I spend about half an hour training only to realize that if you lose to Ucine, he just isn't there anymore. Off to Olivine. I go through the entire lighthouse to get to the top, and Jasmine sends me back to Cianwood just to pick up the secret medicine. The Ampharos in the lighthouse is hurt and can't do his job unless it feels better. But once I do that, I can fight Jasmine, the Steel-type 6 gym leader. She starts off with her Magnemite, who I realize is 7 levels higher than my Machop, and that's not even her ace. Luckily, I take out the Magnemite, but once the level 35 Steelix comes out, even Kadabra has a hard time getting a dent in it. Once again, I need to grind. Funny enough, as I was grinding, I ran into a shiny Tentacool. I think this might be my first legit shiny in a Pokemon game, and I haven't even done that many encounters. Funny how that works though. Anyways, back to the grind. I managed to evolve Machop, Flaffy, Togetic, and Dratini into their next evolved forms. After getting most of the team to at least level 30, I try the fight again. Machoke goes out for Magnemite, and Magnemite throws out a Thunder Wave, paralyzing me and cutting my speed. I get a Vital Throw in and take it out in one hit. The next Magnemite comes out and tries to go for Supersonic and misses, going down to another Vital Throw. Steelix comes out and goes for a Screech in its first move, so I land another Vital Throw to take it down to half. He goes for Iron Tail and takes me out in one hit. I go to Dragonair and hit a Surf to finish it off and get the badge. I take a trip to Mahogany Town to knock out this weird water onyx that's harassing the people of the Lake of Outrage and continue on to my quest. I run into Dragon Trainer Lance and help him defeat some Team Rocket members that have been hiding in the basement below Mahogany Town. I make it down to the basement for a battle with Executive Petrol, but honestly the guy is as big a pushover as the rest of the Rocket Grunts. I take him out without even having to switch out Rocky. Executive Ariana isn't much tougher, though she did manage to take Rocky out because I didn't heal before the fight. When I was fighting some of the earlier trainers, my Machoke finally evolved into Machamp, making it the first of my specialty evolutions in the run. And with that evolution, Machamp is strong enough to take out all 3 of Pryce's Pokemon with one Vital Throw each, probably the easiest badge of the run. After Pryce, we find out the Goldenrod radio tower is being controlled by Team Rocket, so we go to save it. We make it nearly through the entire thing, including most of the first admin, with only Kadabra, as the Team Rocket relies heavily on poison types. We make it through 4 Coughing when he finally takes us out with poison damage. Ampharos comes out and takes out the next Coughing, while Weezing uses self-destruct to take us out. Finally, we go out to Machamp to take out the final Coughing with 3 Vital Throws. We go down to the basement of the radio tower and get challenged to another rival battle, but Steve doesn't have anything good. Golbat goes down to 1 Psybeam, Hunter goes down to 1 Psybeam, Sneasel goes down in 2 Rock Throws, Quilava goes down in 2 Rock Throws, and Magnemite goes down in 1 Vital Throw. Steve hopefully becomes a problem in the next fight, because right now he's not too tough. We continue through the basement, also managing to evolve Kadabra into Alakazam during this run. On the way back up the tower, we run into Executive Proton, who sends out Coughing. I use 1 Alakazam Psybeam to take him out, but decide I want to try something else and get some other experience. Unfortunately, Togetic doesn't last very long, so I go out to Dratini, who takes him out with 2 Dragon Rages. Right after we have another fight with Ariana. We start with Alakazam and go for Psycho Cut, taking Arbok down to half. He goes for a Gaze to paralyze us in half our speed. Crunch takes us down to 22. Psycho Cut just isn't enough to take him out, and 1 more Crunch takes us out. I go out to Rocky and go for a Rock Throw to take out the Arbok. Vileplume comes out and turns out to be a tank, as 1 Dragon Breath barely does an eighth. Mega Drain takes Rocky out in 1 hit. Ampharos comes out and throws out a Thundershock. Little by little, we try to whittle down Vileplume's HP with Headbutt. He barely takes us down to half before going down. Out next is Murkrow, who goes down to half with a Thundershock and gives us the Para. 1 more Thunder Punch takes him out, winning us the fight. At the top of the tower is Executive Archer. I send out Ampharos to counter his Houndour. He uses Fire Fang as I use Thundershock that takes him down to half. Another Fire Fang takes me down to 35 as Thundershock takes him out. I go out to Rocky and use a Rock Throw. Houndoom uses Feint Attack to take us down a quarter. 2 Rock Throws take him down to a quarter, as 2 critical hits take us out. I go out to Egg Boy and 1 Fire Fang takes us out. We go back to Ampharos and go for a Headbutt but get taken down. Dragonair comes out to finish him off with Surf. He sends out a Coughing and our Dragonair goes for a Thunder Wave to paralyze it. He only goes for the Smoke Screen, lowering our accuracy. The first Dragon Rage misses, but the second one connects and takes him down to half. We miss another Thunder Wave and get taken out to Sludge. We send out Alakazam to go for a Psybeam that finishes the fight. That Houndoom gave us way more trouble than I expected. We make it through the ice cave to Blackthorn City, only making it to Claire before realizing that we're just too low a level for her at this point. We already have a hard enough time taking out her Gyarados, so we instead choose to keep training to get Ampharos up to the level 35 range, which is still 5 levels under Gyarados. On our third attempt, we immediately get hit with a bite, which luckily activates static on Gyarados. Discharge is just enough to take it down to healing range, so Claire waits her next turn going for a Hyper Potion. I go for another discharge that does just as much, and we outspeed in order to take it out. Out next is her first Dragonair, so we stay in to get off a Thunder Wave. I forget about Shed Skin, so that does nothing. I get taken out by Aqua Tail in the next turn. Out comes Rocky, going for a Dragon Breath that doesn't even do a quarter. We nearly get taken out with another Aqua Tail. Another Dragon Breath takes him down to above half, and Aqua Tail takes us out. We go to Machamp and deal a Cross Chop that takes it out in one hit. Out next is Kingdra, her scary ace. We get hit with a Smoke Screen, but one Cross Chop takes it down to half. He misses a Hydro Pump. One more Cross Chop takes it down to red. We get down to 23 HP with another Hydro Pump, but a Cross Chop finishes it off. Her Dragonair comes out, so I stay in. I go for Cross Chop and miss, and she misses a Slam, and she takes me out with a Dragon Pulse on the next turn. I go out to Alakazam, and Psybeam is just enough to take it out. That was pretty tough, but I thought I'd have to get more than 3 tries to get it done. The Kimono Girls are nothing to worry about. That is, after the second time, once I remembered to heal after Claire's battle. And we get the Silver Bell to go to Whirl Islands and take on Lugia. I knew I wasn't going to use it at all in this run, so I just decided to knock it out. Was it a dumb choice? Maybe. But I'm not going to let some dumb bird with big hands tell me what to do with my life. We get through Victory Road, but before we can face the Elite Four, there's one more required battle with our rival Steve. I start with Ampharos as he leads with his Sneasel. I think that Discharge is enough to take him out, but I'm shocked to find it only does half. One more Discharge takes it out, since I now outspeed because of static. Golbat comes out and goes to Confuse Ray, confusing Ampharos and leading us to hit ourselves. He goes for a bite which causes static, and a Discharge almost takes it out. One more does the trick. Typhlosion came out as we switched to Dragonair. Aqua Tail barely makes it to half, as we get taken down to orange with Swift. One more Aqua Tail takes it out. With Haunter next on the docket, I try to get Egg Boy some experience, but he gets outsped and confused. One extra sensory takes it down to half, but Steve switches into Magneton before we take it out. One spark is enough to take us down to 22 with the paralysis. Extra sensory is doing nothing, so I hard switch into Machamp. Magnet Bomb barely does 20 damage as one Vital Throw takes it out. Kadabra comes out, so I switch back into Ampharos and go for Thunder Punch, barely taking it down to half. Another punch takes it to red as he disables it. I get down to 11 HP and go for a Headbutt to knock it out. I stay in for the Haunter so I can get a clean switch to Egg Boy. I go to fly and he goes for a Curse, which takes him out. That was an unexpected turn. I attempt the Elite Four, but with the levels I currently have now, it's not enough. I choose to grind Dragonair, Ampharos, Togetic, Alakazam, Machamp, and I take out Meganium for some added bulk. Level 40 is just not enough to get through Koga, so I keep grinding in the area right before the Indigo Plateau. After getting to level 45, I can make it through most of the Elite Four. Psychic Trainer Will always starts with Xatu, so I begin with Alakazam. I go for the Shadow Ball and take it down in one hit. The second Xatu tanks a Shadow Ball and goes for Aerial Ace, taking us down to half. I go for another Shadow Ball to take it out. Executor comes out and again goes down to one Shadow Ball. Jinx comes out, so I switch to Muscle to take out the Ice type. However, one Psychic takes us down to half. One Vital Throw is enough to take it down though. For Slowbro, I go into Ampharos and take it down to red. It uses 2 full restores and I keep using Discharge, eventually taking it down by the third time. Koga gives us a bit more trouble. I start with Alakazam to take on Ariados, taking it out with one Psychic. Muck comes out and faces the same fate, going down in one Psychic. Fortress was a bit more difficult to take down, so I switched to Muscle. I have to deal with stall attacks, eventually getting switched into Crobat. I stay in and get taken down to half with one Wing Attack, and one Strength takes it down to 3/4. I bring out Ampharos and it goes for another Wing Attack, getting paralyzed by static. One Discharge takes it down. Fortress comes back, so I go back to Muscle. I go for Cross Chop and take it down in one critical hit. Last up is Venomoth, so I switch into Egg Boy for Ancient Power. Unfortunately, I get hit with a Toxic, which puts me on a timer. Ancient Power barely does half, and another Ancient Power takes it to the orange. He goes for a full restore, and another Ancient Power takes him down to almost half. We get down to the red, but the poison damage is too much. Alakazam comes out as he fully restores, and a Shadow Ball takes it down to half. One more Shadow Ball finally takes it out, winning us the battle. Fortunately, Bruno was never really a problem, usually going down to Meganium or Alakazam. I get that he's an Elite Four member and he has been for a while, but he's always been one of the easiest members despite how late in the game he is. Karen, the Dark-type Elite Four member, is also fairly easy compared to Koga. Umbreon comes out to Machamp and starts with a double team. I go for a Vital Throw and take him to Orange. Feint Attack doesn't do too much damage and another Vital Throw takes him out. I switch to Ampharos to take out the Murkrow and one Discharge. Houndoom is out next, so I go back to Machamp. I don't outspeed and the Flamethrower takes me down to half. I get burned, which activates Guts, and one Vital Throw takes it out. Gengar is up next, so I go to Alakazam and take it out in one Psychic. I stay out for Vileplume and go for another Psychic and take it out in one hit. Lance is a load of garbage and I hate him. I keep throwing myself at him and every time he takes me down. Level 45 isn't enough, I even try again at level 50 and I still get taken down. After about my 6th attempt, I end up running out of money to buy healing items. I equip an Amulet coin onto Ampharos and decide to keep throwing myself at the Elite Four with the EXP share on different Pokemon to level up more, since they're the only ones at a really high level. After 10 attempts, I finally get a good run against Lance. Gyarados gets taken down in one Discharge by Ampharos. For the line of Dragonites, I switch to my own Dragonite, who happens to be 6 levels above the others. The first takes me down to 19 health with Outrage, but I take him out with one Dragon Rush. The next Dragonite comes out and luckily it gets taken out in another Dragon Rush. The final Dragonite comes out and falls to one final Dragon Rush, causing me to outlive the biggest challenge of this fight. Aerodactyl comes out and gets taken out with one Discharge after a Rock Slide does about 50 damage to Ampharos. Finally is the Charizard, who gets into a heal stall with me as I keep landing discharges, one after the other. He uses all 4 of his full restores until finally going down and allowing us to become the Elite Four champion of the Indigo Plateau. This fight took a bit longer than I expected it to, but I don't think any RNG at a lower level would have fully helped me to get results like these. In order to fight my way to Red, I have to fight the 8 gym leaders around the Kanto region. However, for whatever reason, none of the members of this league give us any trouble because they're all far lower in level compared to the Elite Four. The only leader that gives us trouble is Blue, the 8th gym leader in the Kanto League, our 16th gym battle. Our first time around I didn't heal, so that didn't go so well, but our second fight is the winner. I start with Ampharos against an Exeggutor and go for a one-hit knockout Signal Beam. Next out is Rhydon, so I go to Meganium, who actually becomes helpful in the fight. One Magical Leaf took it out. I switch out to Rocky, now with Steelix, to counter Arcanine, but get taken out in one Flare Blitz. At first I thought he would be our useful counter to Fire Pokemon, but it looks like that won't be the case. Maybe I'll just level up Quagsire? I go out to Muscle and take him out with one Cross Chop, after his Flare Blitz takes us down to Orange. I go back to Ampharos to take out Pidgeot, getting down to the Orange with one Discharge and tanking a Stab Return in the process. One more Discharge takes it out. I go to Alakazam to take out Blue's Machamp in one Psychic. One more Discharge from Ampharos to Gyarados is enough to get me the 16th gym badge. I can go and fight Red now, but at this point I'm not leveled high enough. Red's Pokemon are in the 80s and I'm barely pushing 60, so I'm gonna have to grind for a long time to even rival that. Before that, I spend the next 5 real-time hours looking for Chanseys to steal Lucky Egg from them, so I can make the grinding easier. Will it actually save time in the long run? Probably not. Should I waste my time on it? Also probably not. After getting the entire team leveled up to at least 70, I figured I would see how close I was to beating Red. The problem is that I didn't record it and I actually won the fight. So yes, I can do it, but I'm a man of pride and I like to show my work. So I went back to my save right before the fight to see if I could do it again, even at this low of a level. That way, it wouldn't feel like it was just luck. Here's my final team with stats and their movesets, though I doubt I'll need everyone. I also forgot I turned off battle animations for when I was grinding and forgot to turn them back on. I also gave Meganium a Miracle Seed, but I don't think I recorded that. I start with Quagsire against his level 88 Pikachu. He misses an Iron Tail, and I take it out in one Earthquake, which I really didn't think would happen since I'm 15 levels below him. But once he goes down, he sends out Venusaur, so I switch out to Alakazam. One Psychic just isn't enough to take him out, so he uses a full restore and goes for Sludge Bomb and takes me down to Orange. I go for another Psychic, which takes him down to the Red, and one more takes him out. Out next is Snorlax, so I swap to Muscle, and one Cross Chop takes him down to Red. Because of the hail, Blizzard doesn't miss and he freezes me. I get down to 2 HP, and the hail damage is enough to take out Snorlax. I switch into Ampharos for Charizard, and he goes for Flare Blitz, taking me to Orange. but one quad super effective power gem is enough to take him into hail range. Blastoise comes out and a blizzard takes me down to 7 HP. One discharge takes him to orange and I get taken out by hail. I switch into Leafy and one Petal Dance takes him out. Lapras is his final Pokemon and the second Petal Dance takes him to just above half. One blizzard takes me out. I go into Moonpie hoping an Earthquake will do some damage, but it just barely goes to orange and 2 blizzards take me out. I go back to Alakazam knowing I outspeed and take it out with one last Psychic, winning the battle and the run. All around, this challenge wasn't too difficult once I got into it, but it took a lot of time because I've never done the post-game before, and Rid's Pokemon were much higher leveled than I thought they would be. I think the most challenging part was Voltorb Flip, but since that was more of a game of chance than anything, I don't think there was anything I could have done to get that done much quicker. The same goes for getting the Lucky Egg from Chansey. I don't think I could have made that take less time, and it was a lot of RNG, but I think in the long run it did actually help with grinding. I'm going to start alternating videos I work on for the rest of quarantine. I originally wanted to do one main channel video and one gaming channel video per week, but I might change that to one video per week on either channel. These videos take way more time than I thought since I'm not monetarily encouraged to get these done. That being said, if you have any suggestions for what I should do next, leave it down in the comments and I'll give it a shot. I still stream on Twitch every now and then on twitch.tv/jyellowstone, so follow me on there as well. With that, I thank you all for watching this challenge, and I'll see you in the next one.